Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Elina Giachali. Elina is a coach, speaker, and entrepreneur. She runs an online school for adults that want to become conscious creators of their well-being. Elina, welcome to the Success Insight podcast.
Hi, so nice to be here with you. I was really looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Elina, in the spirit of full disclosure for my listeners, I want to share just a couple of items before we get into the heart of our discussion. One is that you and I have known each other for a number of years. Mm-hmm. And what really drew me to want to invite you and have you on the podcast today is, first and foremost, I saw a post that you had put out on Facebook yesterday, and I have been struggling. I don't know if that's the right word, but we'll use that these past couple of weeks as this global pandemic of the virus has taken hold on a global scale. And I know of your work as a practitioner for consciousness and well-being, as we just described in the introduction. And I also thought that, my God, you're over in Greece. And so for our listeners, this is truly an international podcast today because Elina is in the comfort of her home in Greece. It's 7:00 in the evening. It's about noon here. So she's had a long day already. And so we're grateful she's spending time with us. And I had thought that it would be great to get a perspective on how this global event is unfolding and the urgency and really the pressures and the emotions, the mental well-being, the emotional well-being is taking shape on a global scale. And I thought, where better than to go to someone like Elina to get a truly international perspective. So, Elina, once again, welcome to the podcast. And I'd love to at least start off with, Greece has gone through a lot of upheaval, I would say, in the past decade. You had the financial crisis, and it's not so much in the news, but I would imagine it's still part of your existence, living and making a living in Greece, such a beautiful country. But how has this issue with this virus, how has that unfolded in a country like Greece, for yourself, your family, your loved ones, and just the kind of the citizen psyche of what's going on?
Well, it went active here, I think, a week before you, because we are near Italy. So it went active and we started closing down, I think, earlier than you. Now, the things here so far with the coronavirus, our numbers are encouraging in Greece, if you see compared to other countries. So we are like 26th or 27th in the list. The government took some measures pretty fast. So it closed the cafes, restaurants pretty fast. Now, when it comes to the people, we have, I would say, three different groups. We have the group that responds to the mainstream guidelines, and we'll have the group that overreacts to whatever is happening, and we have the group that is totally indifferent and they are not compliant. So with the coronavirus, I would say that people have responded well into the big majority. So we have 7 so far casualties, which is a low number, and a slower curve when it comes to how many people get sicker every day. If you want me to tell you the truth, I did a seminar, a free Facebook Live that I do in my free group in Facebook. And the key question that I asked them was, what is depleting your energy right now? What is really, really, really consuming you right now? And I think you will agree with me that most of the people are not concerned so much about their own health. They are concerned about, first, the health of their loved ones, and secondly, about their finances. I would say that the real fear for ourselves comes further down the list. I don't know how things are there in the US, but basically here, the first thing that happened is that when this all broke up, we were puzzled. China is far away. So China, you hear it, it's in the news. It's not in your house. Italy is not far away. Italy is a neighbor. So again, Italy is very civilized, very modern city, Milan. So you hear it again, but you think that it's okay. And then from 1 minute to the next, it blows off. So at that part, we were taken aback. We were really surprised and we were shaken and we were trying to see what is going on. We reacted very well. The weather here is excellent. So right now, the people have started appreciating walking in the sun, consciously walking in the sun for vitamin D, whereas in the past they would just stay indoors, browsing through their mobile phones and their tablets. We are staying in, but I don't want to talk about measures that one should take because everybody knows them. I would like to address one huge opportunity here is that the whole globe actually will reevaluate the way we lived. Now that given things have stopped being given, and you will soon realize what I'm saying by the time this podcast will be out here, and you will have been confined and you won't be able to see even your loved ones, your friends. Yeah, we will get to appreciate things that we were taking for granted and we had normalized. One of the things that will make us, I believe that once this whole thing is over, our wisdom levels will have increased exponentially. On the other hand, there is a portion of the population that is easily hijacked. And by hijacked, I mean mentally hijacked. To be more specific, I will say that I had a class with my advanced level of my online school. I don't know if this is a trend for you in the USA, but in Europe, there was a trend for people that would go and buy extreme quantities of toilet paper.
That's happening here as well, for no good reason, it appears.
So everybody was asking, why are we buying toilet paper? And they didn't know, but they did. So you get carried away to do something pretty that you don't fully understand, and it seems pretty not smart because you are carried away of the mass consciousness. Now, that may be funny, that may be cute, but it also is a sign of whether your control center, your decision-making center has been hijacked by the mass consciousness.
When you talk about the mass consciousness and this issue that you have raised, it is happening here probably exponentially larger than in Greece, probably the exact same activity, but just given the size and the sheer numbers. What's the origin of this hijacking? Is it social media? Is it the news? What is it?
Beautiful question. Awesome. Our brain operates in waves, in certain waves, okay? So we have beta waves, alpha waves, delta, gamma, and theta waves. We are talking now, and while we are talking, we are processing information, and we are in medium beta waves. When we are under stress and when we are facing a sudden danger, our brain waves get faster and faster. We get to high beta waves and we go to the fight or flight mode, which I think that most of our listeners may already are familiar with. But in case they are not, when we operate in high beta, we tend to distort reality. We focus in a not balanced way on a specific problem, and we focus in a way that it really is distorted. So we create a different reality. I mean, high beta is very useful if you're hunted by a dog. For a short term, it may save your life. For a long term, though, it is as if you drive your car with extreme intensity all the time. So from a point on, this engine loses our mind, then totally loses touch with real life and gets monofocused on a specific problem, which, to tell you the truth, has got a lot of effects in our heads.
So I have a question. do we get used to stress? And I guess to me, stress would be a reaction to, or maybe it's the cause of the beta waves or the elevation. Is it possible where before this virus came to our daily consciousness, I mean, we may have heard about it, but because it didn't affect us, we let it go. This was probably back in November, December of 2019. We knew there was something going on in China. We didn't know what, doesn't affect me. But we still have our stresses of life. You know, we've got to pay the bills, the mortgage, the kids got to pay for the college, et cetera, et cetera. Do we get used to heightened levels of stress? So we're already heightened in terms of our stress. So these elevated beta waves. And now this global issue, this problem now is laid right down at our feet. And so this already heightened level of stress, these beta waves, now becomes even more accelerated and heightened. Is that a fair descriptor of what's going on?
Your question is absolutely amazing.
Don't tell anybody that, but okay. Thank you.
Because I will tell you that every emotion that we have is, in fact, a cocktail of biochemistry. The more that we have a certain emotion, the more that our body is addicted to it. We can get addicted to stress and to adrenaline rush or to adrenaline. We can get used to being stressed, but our immune system will constantly be downgraded. If we are on constant stress, if we are spending a lot of time in high beta waves, our immune system may be weakened by up to 80%.
Wow.
Our body cells are happy because we are always stressed and it is addicted. Our body cells are addicted to the same chemical cocktail that we release by the known, let's say, emotional state. But our immune system gives us cancer, gives us high blood pressure, ulcer, and many, many, many other health problems. So yes, we get addicted to high beta, and no, we shouldn't. We should have all the variety of the brain frequencies because they are there for a reason. When we are in high beta, it's not only that our breath is more shallow and faster, because when we are in danger, we don't sit back and relax. We have a shallow breath and faster pace of breath. But also, we make very fast one negative thought to another negative thought, to another negative thought, to another negative thought, to another negative thought, to another negative. So we build trees of negative thoughts, gardens of negative thoughts, and eventually worlds of negative thoughts. And I will not even touch the law of attraction, that once you build it, you actually attract it and you bring it to you manifest it. I won't go there because this is not our topic today, maybe another time. But for now, talking about mental health, we should first see whether we are in high beta. I mean, if you are having a difficult time to relax, if you are having a difficult time to fall asleep, if you wake up before you get the full rest, that means, or if you have a shallow sleep, that means that you're in high beta. And the good news is that you can change it. You can change it very, very easily, but it needs some commitment.
As a living, breathing human being, am I aware enough about how I'm feeling to recognize that I'm in this high beta mode? Or do I just, it's another day of, I have a habit of waking up at 3:00 in the morning, and it's like clockwork. Okay. Every morning, 3:00. And I go back to
3:00 in the morning.
Yeah. And then I go back to sleep and I'm good. And I think I've been doing it for years, probably since 2012. I've recognized it. That's when I went from having a full-time job to being this entrepreneur. different stress, maybe elevated levels of stress. But I mean, enough about me. But is someone tuned in enough to really be aware that this thing that's happening, their shallow breath, the waking up, doing things that are not in service of their well-being, are we tuned enough to even recognize it, that I need to then make a change?
When we are in high beta, we are not tapping to our higher intelligence and higher wisdom. It is not even good for our career and clients and for our service. Now, having said that, I will tell you that it is an acquired skill. The free seminar I did in my group, I just guided the people just to be mindful of their body, to be present with their breath, to figure out, are they breathing in shallow mode, deeply? What is the pace of the breath? How does it feel in the body? How does the body feel? To go through a body scan. So this is an acquired skill that you get, however, to know pretty fast, really, really fast. I mean, in a few weeks' time, you can have a serious upgrade, a very serious upgrade. And then you can be putting yourself from high beta to slow or to medium beta and then to alpha drop. Then in alpha drop, you start having a flow. And in alpha drop, your immune system gets stronger, your clarity increases, the body starts repairing itself, and then you get in deeper states of relaxation, which is theta, and then we go on. But with very simple steps. We start from a body scan. You are welcome to join me in my group when I will do the next free session so that you can actually try it. And I would say that you try to invest 15 minutes, 20 of your day, of your energy, to boost your immune system and to tap into your highest intelligence mode. Because most of the people, I'm telling you, they are not so interested in their health. They are interested in their career. They are more interested in their career than in their health. So I'm not talking only about health here, but I'm talking about really making things work.
I can envision a global movement of coaches like yourself gathering people for these massive Zoom meetings. I mean, because you and I are doing our podcast on Zoom, and there are hundreds of Zoom accounts out there and meditation practitioners and that do very similar work that you're doing. I think if anything comes out of this current circumstance that we're in, it could be that we are more tuned to our bodies, to our mental health and emotional well-being, and we can address this by 15 minutes of meditation every day. When I was growing up here in the States, we used to have what we called the Pledge Allegiance to the flag. And I can imagine, much like clockwork of doing the Pledge Allegiance, maybe all classes, all business days, they stop working for 15 minutes. Let's just do a large group meditation.
In Harvard also, I saw that it published the research, meditation has proven to treat coronavirus anxiety and also to boost the immune system. And I'm telling you, because I have been practicing meditation for 10 years now, we are not talking about spiritual, aligned with my spirit. I'm fully aligned with my spirit. But here we are not talking about the spiritual practice. More, we are talking about neuroscience, breathing, and a way to use the mind to give it an elite service. So in those times that are really unstarted waters, we don't know where we are going right now. And we don't, for the first time in the whole history of humanity, we are all equal.
Yes, very much so.
We are all equally lost. The opportunity here is to be in the present, because you cannot make any plan about the future. Those that make plans about the future right now, they really should think about it twice, because you don't know. You don't know how the economy will have shaped after, how the people will have shaped afterwards. So here, the only choice that you really can do is where to invest yourself at the present.
I think we can invest in ourselves in the present, and also, if we can, somehow influence others, or not influence, but I would say invite others to join us in this journey as well.
Particularly people that have families, if they are balanced, if they know how to center themselves through the mirror neurons, they transmit the balance that they feel and they sense to their members, even if the others don't meditate, because people get aligned in different ways. It's not only the verbal communication, but we get aligned when we are hugging our partner, and from a point of dawn, you sense the hearts are aligned, the heartbeat is aligned. The people that want to, their family or their loved ones be balanced, they should start from themselves. And it is really very simple. At first, one should acknowledge the fact that has been hijacked by this whole mass consciousness that right now is really disoriented. Then claim back control of his or her own mind. And from then on, I want to also say that there will be a lot of opportunities that will come up. A lot of opportunities. But in order for somebody to be able to take advantage of an opportunity that will come up, he or she has to be emotionally and mentally fit. Because you will see the opportunity, or you will create the opportunity for a business, or how to deal with a problem that came up. If you're hijacked by the fear, by spending time in the future, because fear is experienced only when you are not in the present. That's it. When we are present in the now moment, now we don't have any threat. So we are stressed because we are not in the present moment. But we don't create the future in the future, and we don't correct the past in the past. We can only create the present in the present. So the gifts of collecting ourselves for 20 minutes per day to the present are absolutely, I cannot count them. I cannot.
So I have a question, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but let's see where we go. I am working inside of an organization right now as an internal coach. Part of the team, the individuals that work inside this organization, have been directed to work from home. So now they are finding themselves not only working from home, some cases perhaps maybe their children are at home, the spouse is at home as well, because the schools are closed, other work venues are closed. So they're suddenly remote. They've never done it before. And then we have employees, staff, and I'm not talking about necessarily just first responders like the nurses, the doctors, the medical technicians, but just workers whose the nature of what they do, it's crucial to the economy or the government to continue. Some cases they're help desk representatives, customer service, providing a service. What can the leaders inside these organizations, the managers inside these organizations, how can they help their teams, their staff, stay conscious to to themselves and to being mindful of their feelings and to help them navigate what we're going through right now?
Excellent question. Thank you very much for this question. I will play devil's advocate here. Would it help to have them be overly stressed? What would the effect be to have them be overly stressed? It would increase their immune system and it would make them even sick only by stress. Okay? I had an interview 3 weeks ago when this whole thing started in place with a doctor. And he was the one that he gave me this number. He said that stress eliminates the strength of our immune system by 80%. So these people have got to deal with coronavirus and also with the stress of coronavirus and also with fatigue, with tired. I would say that in that particular time, two things are needed. First, if I was the owner of such a company or the leader of such a team, I would first inform the people of how their body works when it comes to the immune system. So I would give them some data about their brain frequency waves and also their heart coherence waves, because we are also working with the heart coherence, which both can really help at first boost the immune system. First of all, we have this asset. And second, they help the person collect himself or herself. So they are not hijacked by all the negative thoughts that pop out every single time. You know, these processes, these techniques and tactics, the heart coherence from the HeartMath Institute, if you have heard, I'm a certified HeartMath practitioner as well. So these techniques are used by the army, by the soldiers that need to be at peak performance under extreme conditions, or by the police. The techniques are simple, but you have to use them. If you don't use them, they don't work.
If I am the manager, if I am the employee, the one that's left inside, still working inside the organization, or I am now remote, what's a good example of a meditation, a technique that you could share that would be a good place for them to start this journey of, self-awareness of how they're feeling? What would be a good example to teach them how to use?
Would you like me to do meditation right now?
I would love if you would gift our listening audience a meditation. Let's do it.
Shall we go? Shall we do a meditation? Fine.
Yeah. I think we should do it.
Yes, but before we go there, I would like to talk a little bit about the steps. Okay.
Okay.
We will try something very, very simple. Okay. So at first, we will try something very, very simple. We will start with a few breaths, a few specific breaths, and then we will just go to do some mindful observing of our body. Okay? And then from then on, I will guide you to do very simple things. Okay?
Very good.
Good. But I would say, before we go there, that to somebody to be able to do a meditation, I would not describe it. I would lead it. Otherwise, he would be in his head while doing the meditation. So something like that. First, you should have some professional to guide you through it. But let's have a sample, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Good. So take a more comfortable, let's say, lose your body in your seat. Okay, I will ask you to close your eyes already. Fine. Okay. So what I will ask you now to do is just to observe your breathing. Nothing else. Just observe your breathing. Observe your breathing to see the pace of it. To see whether you breathe deeply or more shallow. Just observe. Don't adjust anything. Don't make any adjustment. Just observe and accept what is. Try to lean back in your seat and to open your breast. Excellent. So that it has the space to have more air. Try to see if you can breathe deeply just a bit. Not any extreme effort. Just enjoy deeply breathing just a bit. Setting the intention to stay awake, easily following my guidelines while the body can be at rest. You can allow the body to slowly rest. Observe whether your shoulders are heavy or not. Observe whether your back is more relaxed or not. Just observe to see, to notice what is happening. Now, and now I want you to breathe, observing your arms to see whether they are heavy, relaxed, or whether they have some tension in them. And whether if they have some tension, just observe it. Just observe, nothing else. Your chest, see whether the breath is deep and nourishing or whether you need more air. Try to imagine that your eyes are at rest, as if they are relaxing under your eyelids. And relax your eyelids totally. Observe whether there is any tension on the face, in the teeth, in the tongue, on the neck. Scan to see whether there is any tension lower in the waist, in the main part of the body. Just scan, nothing else. No other work to do. In the thighs, in the knees. Go further down in the legs. Observing, just being mindful of what is going on there. Just observe. And breathe in, breathe out, allowing the chest to get the air it needs. The feet, the toes. And now just imagine that you are observing your thoughts. You are allowing your thoughts to go freely, to come and go absolutely freely. You just imagine that you observe them without judgment. Observe them like you are a very neutral, well-hearted person. Just observe without any interaction. And now ask your brain to remember a nice, happy thing that came to you, that happened to you, something that you are grateful for. The last time that something nice happened to you, just ask your brain to go and bring it to you, to remember it, without any effort. Breathing in now, and ask your brain to bring another thing, another nice thing that happened to you. Joy, something that was a happy moment. Where were you? With whom? How did you feel? Ask your brain to go and bring something nice that happened to you during those past 24 hours. Let your brain recall the things that you can be grateful for that happened during this past week and month. Try to see if you can find happy in the heart or a smile from the heart. Try to see if you can smile, if your heart can smile to you, and if you can smile to her back. Take a deep breath and increase the volume of that smile. See if you can increase the volume of that inner smile. See whether you have started increasing the glow of the energy of your body. Exhale. With the inhale, increase the glow of your body. And just sit in this energy for a while. Just sit in your own energy. Feel how it is in your own energy. as if you are in a very welcoming place. Just sit with yourself. Start feeling your fingertips, moving your fingertips and your toes. Start feeling your body again. Make your breath conscious again. Make your body conscious again. Get in touch with your body. And when you're ready, you can come back and open your eyes. You don't have to speak for a while. Just sitting there. Just sitting there. That was 10 minutes.
That was beautiful.
How was it?
I enjoyed shutting off or turning down, whatever the right words are, the noise. I mean, even in the podcast, we're having a wonderful conversation. There's still noise, Did we understand each other? Are we going in a good place? Is this of value to my listeners? Even the mere act of asking you to gift us with this meditation, that's noise. And so going through it, it was although everything was just quiet, except for the act of the breathing, the thinking, responding to your prompting. It's a very good feeling.
I mean, can you see your face?
Probably is lightened up a bit. I could tell I'm smiling right now. It's relaxing.
It's lovely, and your color looks more vivid, more alive.
Ah.
I'm telling you that if people were accustomed to that, we would not have pandemics, and for sure we wouldn't have pandemics for fear. We wouldn't, because we're not talking only about the pandemic, but we are talking about the pandemic of fear.
Mm-hmm.
People are hijacked very easily by what is going on outside of them. Whereas if you are a sovereign human being and you know that you have got a strong immune system, that if something is to happen, it will actually happen, but you don't have to live with the fear of it happening all the time. Because what they say is that people get to die once. All people get to die once, but those that are afraid get to die every single minute.
Mm.
Okay. So, I mean, the question here I want to ask the people that are listening to us or watching us is, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be when things are challenging? Who do you want to be? And what is the opportunity for your upgrade here? Who do you want to be? I mean, there is an option, there is a choice. You can choose to feel and experience yourself and your life differently. And even to tell you the truth, smoother, more smoothly. So who do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Log out from the social media, log out, turn off the TV, and start collecting yourself and your resources and your energy. We are actually creating a world with our energy. So we have to become, but the opportunity is to become masters of how we organize our energy so that we create well-being, a really beautiful home, a really beautiful career, a really beautiful health and body. And people stay young. People stay young. I mean, when I started meditating, I got 10 years younger. Really, I really did. I mean, if you see pictures of mine, you will think that 10 years ago I was like 10 years older than I look now, because cells are regenerating, because the brain is given a break. And we are not always in a response mode, in a fight or flight mode, but we have the time for the cells to reconstruct. And it is very easy. And how much time did it take? We did that in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. It's wonderful. I mean, it's just, 10 minutes to invest in ourselves. That's all.
So what I would say that you told me about the corporation, I would say that they meditate twice a day. That's what I would say. They meditate twice a day. After a few days, they will be so much, their inner balance levels will have increased exponentially. Their optimism for life will have increased exponentially. Their stress levels will have decreased a lot, and also their clarity, their level of service will have increased a lot. That's why so many corporations invest so much to have mindfulness seminars.
I love it. I love it. Elina, thank you so much for joining us today on the Success Insight podcast and this gift of not only your wisdom, but the technique.
My real pleasure. And seeing you having your experience in our meditation for the first time, it was really amazing. I want to thank you for sharing this with me. And I would like to invite you also to join me because I'm going to be giving some free sessions in my Facebook group.
So where should we direct our listeners and me to find you on Facebook?
Yes. Well, I have a free closed group in Facebook. It is called Prime Light Meditation with Elina Giachali. There are many, they can find many Prime Light numbers. It's not my group. Prime Light Meditation with Elina Giachali.
Fantastic. And we'll provide the links to the group on our show notes so everybody can find it. Elina, thank you so much for joining us today. This was fantastic.
Yes. I would like to close, and I would like here to say that now, more than ever, we can fully realize that we are personally responsible for our health and for the health of the planet. So it is an opportunity to take us to a better place now.
Very much, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
There you have it, folks. We have just been chatting and meditating with Elina Giachali. Elina is a coach, speaker, and entrepreneur, and she has an online school for adults that want to become conscious creators of their well-being. We're going to provide a link to Elina's group that she has invited us all to come and join, Prime Light Meditation. We'll provide the links on our show notes. And one of the lessons, takeaways, insights is just so much the importance of self-care, being tuned in to ourselves and our need to just slow down and be more present with ourselves, and this use of meditation. And there's a growing body of literature on the importance and benefits of meditation, and we'll try to give you some more links as well in our show notes. But the opportunity in this global happenings, these events that are happening around the world, it's an opportunity to slow down perhaps just a little bit and to take care of ourselves, and then by extension, take care of our family, our friends, and then in the community, and make a difference. And as Elina had shared too, is that we have a choice. We can feed these beta waves, or we can say, no, that's not how I want to be. I want to stay healthy, both mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I can do this by slowing down. And as we just did in this gift of Elina's meditation with us, is just slow down and breathe and be thankful, give back, and make a difference in the community. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you would like to learn more about our podcast, please do visit us and comment on today's show at successinsightpodcast.com. We are on all of the social channels. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, all the podcast platforms. So folks, take care of yourselves, be healthy, do the right thing, make a difference. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please do go out and have a very mindful and phenomenal day. This is Howard Fox, the Success Insight Podcast. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.